Guys, the Justice League is not dead. I don't know how many times people online are going to be talking about if they're actually dead or not. Guys, they're not dead. I know a lot of people are saying just because we played the story, they're actually dead. They're not. I said it 3 times now in less than 10 seconds. They're not dead. We got to talk about this, guys. I have a special guest with me, my good friend over here, DakarsWRLD. Say hi, man.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Really happy to be here and really happy to talk about this subject.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the Justice League being alive and how they're definitely going to come back in the DLC. There's definitely been a lot of people talking videos, making videos about it now. People like Batman Arkham videos and other people. There's one guy named Tyrone Magnus and seeing a bunch of other videos finally gain traction of the Justice League actually being alive. The Justice League we kill in the story, guys, yeah, they're fake. They're surely fake. Or maybe they are real. Maybe they are real and they get revived somehow. Maybe they do get revived. Maybe it was the real Justice League they get revived. But I'm just because of these hints and that hints for various reasons. They're so fake. I was upset at first, but after I beat the main campaign 2 hours later, I find oh yeah, no, they're definitely fake. I mean, what do you think about it, Dakar?
Honestly, I'll say my weird theory is that I feel like they are both real and fake. The reason why I say that is because there are certain times in the story where the characters, as the Suicide Squad, they are pretty much pointing out a lot of BS things within the story. For instance, when we are fighting Green Lantern and you have a character like Deadshot pretty much saying things like, oh, like the constructs that you're making are so unoriginal. And I also kind of go back to thinking like, well, why didn't he just kind of, bum rush the squad? Why isn't he playing offensively? Why is he just sitting there in the air, just, shooting guns and all that kind of stuff? Another thing is that some people tend to say like, oh, well, maybe they are fake. And I feel like, again, they are real because when we actually go back to the scene with the Flash and Diana, how she uses the lasso of truth on him, it pretty much shows the real Barry. Barry comes out, and that kind of made me think, well, these are the real Justice Leaguers. It's just they are augmented, meaning that these are Justice Leaguers that are either synthetic, with probably the real ones being in Brainiac's ship, and these ones actually having the memories of the real Justice Leaguers, or they're just altered in a way to where maybe I don't know. It's super weird and just super confusing. I feel like the way that Rocksteady really made the way on the Justice League in this game is just kind of weird. There's a lot of things to honestly really talk about when it comes to the Justice League, though.
In terms of, you said Flash getting his memories back, maybe, let's say he probably was cloned and all that, and Brainiac gave him the memories of the real Flash, right? What do you have to say about, you played the story, Flash magically getting his thumb back? What do you say about that?
It was actually pretty funny because I thought that that was actually a mistake on the on some of the developers on the team.
Okay, okay.
Because I do remember in the trailer they obviously did show Flash's thumb being gone, right? And there actually are some fans or some Arkham fans who did point out, showing screenshots. I even think I did in my video how Flash in one of the cutscenes, his thumb is actually a Brainiac kind of like looking weird augmented thumb, but in the game just his thumb, like it's just magically appeared. Again, I thought that it was like a small mistake on the development team part, but I don't know, maybe this could be another clone of Flash, just a Flash that just has the memories of the real one that's probably on the ship somewhere. I don't know, it's like really hard to really decipher on what's really going on with the Justice League. I do think that they are coming back though.
They're definitely coming back. The discussion on whether or not if they were a fake Justice League that we killed and the real one comes back, or is the real Justice League we killed and they come back. The reason, that's the biggest reason, because I don't think they're the real Justice League simply because of for various reasons, but the biggest reason, Flash has his thumb back. Real Flash got his thumb cut off, but this Flash we killed in the story has his thumb back. That's the number one reason why I'm saying it's a fake. As for other reasons, we all know how Green Lantern ring works. When the Green Lantern dies, the ring has a conscience. It's supposed to fly away and find a new user. That didn't happen in this game. They could have done, they probably did the same thing that Insomniac did with Spider-Man 2, where they said, oh yeah, one of Venom's weakness is fire. Yeah, no, not in our game. In our game, he's not going to be affected by fire. In this game, Rocksteady maybe said the same thing. Oh, Green Lantern rings do that in the comics? Oh yeah, not in our game. In our game, maybe the Green Lantern ring works however the hell we say it works and all that. King Shark puts on the ring and his mind gets corrupted, this, that, whatever. Assuming that Rocksteady isn't that dumb to go with that decision, I mean, surely that's what I would say. The Green Lantern ring was fake and all. Oh, perfect. Thank you for thinking of this. See, I thought of audio actually that I took screenshots of on Twitter. I saw Brainiac talking about Green Lantern's ring, saying to wield I don't have the full conversation, but I just have these subtitles. To wield a lantern's ring again, let's make that happen for you. It wouldn't be your first vivisection. He's talking to King Shark, saying that it wouldn't be his first vivisection. Let's make that happen for you. Let's give you another Green Lantern ring and all that. I mean, the Green Lantern ring we know of fell in the water, so that one's gone for all all we know. So Green Lantern, what is it? Brainiac can give him another Green Lantern ring, maybe produce another Green Lantern ring, and have all this happen again. I mean, that's just not how the Green Lantern works in the comics, and that's one reason why this is a fake Green Lantern and a fake Green Lantern ring, because King Shark's able to wield it. It's not flying away as soon as he dies. I mean, do you think it is a real Green Lantern, Dakar?
When it comes to the ring, I actually at first I did believe it because I'm like, there's no way that Rocksteady would be that dumb to really think like the ring would just work that way, seeing at how from the movies to the cartoons and even the comics, at how whenever a lantern dies or whenever a lantern gets mind controlled, the ring would just fly off to another user. But there was another YouTuber named Comic Story, and he did say that maybe it could be like a gameplay element to the reason why there's like still helicopters in the air that has like the Green Lantern shield over it. I honestly believe that, again, from what you said, that these are obviously the fake Justice League members, and the ring that King Shark used was augmented by Brainiac, just by him getting his hands on the League and just really experimenting on their powers and whatnot. He even went as far to say like, "Oh, you killed my Justice League," the same thing that Comic Historian said.
Right.
So it's just the way that maybe somewhere on Brainiac's ship, John is still on there and his ring is still active. It's just probably on sleeper mode, or I'm surprised that it didn't go out to another user again.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, it's very interesting though.
What about Superman? Because there have been discussions talking about how Superman, with the shard of Kryptonite, that would have killed him. That would have straight up killed him. The huge, we're not even talking like a shard. We're at a chunk, a huge, sharp,
lodged in his chest.
Chunk in his chest, through his skin, through his organs, through his heart. The motherfucker's dead. But no, he's still had enough power in him to kill Diana and fly it back off to the ship. Surely the Kryptonite did weaken him, and yeah, it did. And it looks like it was probably about to kill him. Yeah, sure, he was probably about to die, but he flew back to the ship and all that. Kryptonite that big that would kill him just like that. I don't think he would have had enough power to do that. Something like in the TV show My Adventures with Superman, where a very small shard he clutched in his hand and shoved it into the Brainiac ship. That was believable. That was believable to where he overpowered the pain from the Kryptonite and just threw it. First, it wasn't even penetrating his skin. It was in his hand. So it was small. It was in his hand. He just threw it in there. He overcame the pain. This is completely different from the Superman in this game. This was the size comparison between the Kryptonite in the My Adventures with Superman and Suicide Squad. It's completely different, and one of them is in his hand. The other one is in his fucking chest. So, I mean, everything has different power scalings for, like, the DCAU has different power scalings for Superman and even all these other comics, but that surely would have killed him. That's why he's fake as well. Because someone talked about how the laser beam he was shooting was purple and not red. Maybe Brainiac was messing with like the color of his laser beams or something. Personally, I think that's just like what happens with the purple eyes, and like he's mind controlled, or maybe it's a fake Justice League member, and that's what happens with the fake. Like he does a huge heat blast, and the heat turns from red to purple. I mean, that's another big reason why I think they're fake, obviously.
I would say I slightly disagree, because I do believe that the ones that we're fighting, I do believe that they actually may be real. Pretty much when it goes to Superman, I do feel like that this Superman that Diana fought was the real deal. The reason why I say that is because obviously the Kryptonite actually did work.
Yes.
But I think the reason why that it didn't work is because Brainiac managed to pretty much alter his DNA. I think they even mentioned that in the game where Lex is pretty much going into Batman's mind when we bring Batman to Lex. He's pretty much saying like, oh, like I'm noticing that Brainiac has altered their DNA to the point where they act a certain way, to the point where there's certain things that don't really affect them as much anymore. And to kind of go over to what when Superman was pretty much laser beaming Wonder Woman to death, I feel like he was pretty much giving it his all. I actually did see someone say on Twitter how they said like Superman is pretty much like a solar battery. So when he's shooting his heat vision at like full blast, it's like a certain ultra ray that comes out of it and whatnot.
Okay.
For a minute, I actually did think like, oh, like this could be Brainiac, you know, a purple hue to it. But I feel like when that person explained it, like, oh, this is just a ultraviolet to the max, I was like, that actually makes a lot of sense. And he was still even weak to it. Like even when he kind of got back up from killing Diana, he kind of stumbled a little bit. Was like, yeah, and he just instantly flew off because he knew if he stayed there any longer, he would have died. And so I think it's definitely real. I feel like it was the real Superman. It's just Brainiac's control altered him so much to the point where it didn't affect him as much anymore. I mean, hell, even when we look at like Diana's shield with Kryptonite, it still wasn't doing anything. So it's like, it should have knocked him out easily. You know what I mean? So it definitely altered him some kind of way.
When she was on top of her and he was on the floor and she was bashing the shield into his face, she was bashing the side of the shield where there was no kryptonite, and that was doing nothing. And then the one time where Diana actually puts the kryptonite to his chest when he's laser beaming, that actually does affect him. I don't know why that wasn't one of her first things to do, just place the front of the shield on his chest or face or whatever and cause that to be his downfall. Like, she just gave up and straight up just shoved the chunk into his chest, and she doesn't want to kill any of them, but she said, "I'm sorry, I have to kill you to save the world," just like how Flash said and all that. So you said you think it's the real Superman, but for Flash and Green Lantern, you think you said they were fake. I'm sorry, what did you say about them?
Oh, like to kind of go back, I do feel like that these are the real Justice League members.
Okay.
It's just that they are altered in a way to where they don't act like they don't act like the original leaguers that we know. Like, they act a certain way. Certain abilities don't really work on them as much anymore. They aren't really thinking clearly, especially when it comes to Green Lantern using constructs. He kept using the same thing over and over again, even where Deadshot was like, "You're not original. You're just doing the same thing over and over again."
All right.
So, and then obviously with Superman and him just going through a whole chunk of kryptonite in his chest like it's nothing, yet still pretty being weak to it. Like, it was just super funny just seeing that now. You know what I mean?
All right, so we have two different perspectives here, guys. We both think the Justice League will come back, but in terms of the story, we have different opinions. I believe that they are a fake Justice League for various reasons. I think it's a clone Justice League, an evil doppelganger, and the real Justice League comes back in the DLC. Dakar here, though, he believes that it's the real Justice League, and they come back. You think they get revived somehow?
Yes, because in one of the audio leaks, there was something where Lois Lane was saying something like, when John came back, John was still a little crazed out a little bit, but he was still kind of cooperating with Amanda Waller as well as the Suicide Squad. It's just he was a little crazy in a way still. It's almost like a person who has like a certain type of disease. I think it's like schizophrenia or whatever. But they said that he was still weird, but he was back to normal. You know what I mean? So I feel like when we get the original Justice League members back, they're gonna be good again, but they're gonna be a little different. I also think it's because they're gonna be seeing at the landscape of what happened to Metropolis, all the people that they killed, all the destruction that they caused. It's definitely gonna get to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're definitely gonna be very pissed off and probably wanting revenge against Brainiac in a way.
So yeah, I know people, there are the leaks from Miller Ross talking about how they will get revenge. The Justice League eventually do get revenge against Brainiac, and the leaks about how you play as the Justice League or something, and you kill Brainiac, maybe. That didn't happen in the main story, but from doing more digging into it, it looks like the Miller Ross guy was talking about how this is everything he heard. So Rocksteady could have changed her mind. This is just everything that he heard, and apparently what he is saying now is that everything he wrote in his spoiler article happens at some point. So it could either happen in the story or it could happen in the DLC. It didn't happen in the story, so it looks like his leaks possibly end up happening in the DLC, meaning that we do play as Batman or Superman or Flash or Green Lantern, and maybe we do kill what's his face, the 13th Brainiac or the final two Brainiacs in the last season with
That would be crazy.
Yeah, and I know it's a shooter game, but for one mission, guys, like one final mission, we play as Batman from the Arkham universe again, or maybe even Rocksteady says, fuck it, we know that a lot of people aren't liking this gameplay aspect of the shooters and all that, so we're going to give them what they want. We're going to give them like Arkham Batman one more time, his gameplay. We're going to give them a taste of what Superman gameplay is like, Flash and Green Lantern, and maybe this taste is going to show us a Justice League game in the future whenever that comes out, maybe after 2030 or something. So I mean, what is it though? You were talking about how it's the real Justice League because the audio files talking with Green Lantern and Flash just what is it? We're saying I feel back to normal.
Yeah, and then as well as there was a Flash audio leak where Flash was talking about how he got resurrected. So and also if you kind of notice, like whenever we killed like the Justice League members like Flash, Green Lantern, Batman, and Superman, they instantly get beamed up right back into the ship.
Right.
So I think there's a possibility that, again, that these could be real. And then there's a way where Brainiac is able to pretty much resurrect these characters. And he's also able to like really just mess with their DNA. I mean, even pretty much going to like the Brainiac boss fight, how he made his own Flash and whatnot. Mm-hmm. He's really taking their DNA and making it his own. You know what I mean?
From what we know, to turn any human to Brainiac's side, there's those Terminauts which go on their back and they like warp them and then they turn into an alien, right? We've seen that happen, so we know for a fact that is one method to turn them into the side. and to Brainiac's side. But we've never seen this whole thing about mind control and all that. Did Brainiac even say mind control, or was that just like Lex Luthor and Wonder Woman saying that? We've never seen Brainiac mind control them, so for all we know, that's just their theory of the real Justice League got mind controlled. So we still don't know what happened. Either we know one way, or probably the only way, to turn humans onto Brainiac's side is the Terminaut, but the Terminauts went from humans to aliens. Batman and the Justice League, they went from like Batman to Batman again. The only difference is the purple eyes and the veins and all that. So if there was a Terminaut, he would have turned into a complete alien, right? I mean, there probably wasn't a Terminaut involved. Maybe it was a mind control, but we didn't see anything about mind control, or maybe we just didn't see any method of him cloning the Justice League yet with the whole scanner. I mean, I'm still hard stuck on the fact that Flash got his thumb back, making me think it's the fake Justice League. But also, I wanted to say with this one last thing. Brainiac, or even everyone's getting upset that we killed the Justice League the way we did in the story. I feel like this is a potential hot take from the comments section and all that, so I'll be honest, guys. The way we killed the Justice League in the game, I am fine with the way Green Lantern died, with him having a final send-off and final words before Deadshot finally shot him in the head. Batman, we beat him in the fight, and then he had a final send-off with Harley shooting him in the head. Diana by far had the biggest send-off and most respectful and sad death. Diana's dead. The others, I think there's an argument. I think there's an argument for them to come back, or maybe Diana does come back. She get revived from Amazonian magic or whatever. But I actually am. If it is the real Justice League, I am actually mad that Flash, final bullet, bam, no words. He just dies like that. Superman, bam. Fucking let me laser beam in the sky and then drop to the floor real quick. I'm mad about that.
So dumb. Like. That's my problem with this game mostly. It's just as how we were talking a little bit before. It's just there was no really brutality when it came to this game. Like this game kind of made it seem like, oh, like you're definitely gonna kill the Justice League. This is a Suicide Squad game, you know, like there's gonna be a whole lot of gore and whatnot. And then when we actually kill, you know, the Flash or, you know, Superman and even Green Lantern before he, you know, went down, I don't know. I was expecting something more when it came to their deaths. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah, Green Lantern had his final word. Wonder Woman, of course, you know, she had her, you know, awesome send off. It's just when it came to Flash and Superman, and I would even say Batman, like they just didn't really give me that, like, oh, that was brutal. You know what I mean? Other than Batman getting shot in the head by Harley. But I don't know. I feel like they could have definitely done better. And I felt like I was kind of cheated out of like some brutality when it came to this game. Not saying I needed something like Mortal Kombat level brutality, but it's just give me something more, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like it just felt so lackluster and anticlimactic, and then, you know, Captain Boomerang just, you know, peeing on Flash. I was like, wow, that is so disrespectful.
Okay,
like,
so
wow.
Here's the hot take I'm about to say. If it's the real Justice League, I completely agree with you, Dakar. I'm upset that this is the final thing that Flash did or Superman did, but I'm still going with the fact and the opinion that I still think heavily that this is a fake Justice League. So this is where I feel like the hot take comes in. I don't give a fuck what happens to the fake Justice League. They can do whatever they want, right. Disrespectful or respectful. If it's the real Justice League, you better, especially with Kevin, you better damn be sure that it's a good send-off. But this is a fake Justice League, so why would I care that a fake clone, a fake Flash, is getting a good send-off? I don't care that he got disrespected. I don't care that Superman got disrespected because I know that they're not dead, or I'm very confident at least they're not dead. If it was a real Justice League, of course, I'd be fucking weeping under my covers. But no, I'm actually like, what is it? I don't care at all. People are saying one of the biggest reasons why I hate the story is because the Justice League died. I do not care at all. I had a good time with the story. The Justice League that died, I mean, we actually did see a Justice League die, so that was the point of the game. People are saying, oh, kill the Justice League. That's in the title. We are killing the real Justice League. Maybe we do kill the real Justice League. Maybe they get revived, or maybe we do kill a Justice League and we eventually see the real Justice League in the DLC of some sort. But yeah, I do not care at all that we killed a fake Justice League. If anything, I'm just going to be hoping that imagine if maybe there is a send-off for Batman or something in the DLC. Maybe Batman fights the final Brainiac and he gets a good send-off. I mean, that's better than what Harley did. I mean, Harley, like, again, I don't care because it's fake. It's a fake Batman. But I mean, knowing it's the real Batman, I just better see something good come from Batman's death, if it happens at all, or any of their deaths. I mean, Wonder Woman got a good death. Like, notice the difference, guys. Wonder Woman is dead. I think all of us can agree on that. Wonder Woman is dead, and she had a great send off. The other people, they didn't have a great send off, meaning that they're probably not dead. I mean, what do you think about that?
Honestly, I would say, because I definitely do agree on, like, yeah, if these were, you know, the fake Justice League members, then yeah, I honestly wouldn't give a fuck. But it's like, it kind of goes back to the point of like, then, well, if these are the fake ones, why didn't Rocksteady go full on brutality on these, you know, on these clones? You know what I mean?
That would have been good
Like
to see.
that would have been so good to see, and I feel like it definitely would have given more of a shock value to like viewers, like, oh shit, I just cut Flash's head off, and you know, whatnot, like, with Captain Boomerang, like, because I do remember like 1 or 2 years ago there was like, I don't know if you remember that League Z where it was like, oh, where Captain Boomerang cuts off Flash's head using his boomerang, and then the whole entire team gets mad. Wonder Woman, you know, snaps Superman's neck almost like Zod, all that kind of BS that happened. I was kind of expecting something like that, you know what I mean? Like, and like I said, I'm cool with the Justice League coming back. I'm definitely cool with these being clones, but why not go full on hell? Go full on Mortal Kombat and just go brutal with these characters. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I don't know. Not saying that I'm like an edgelord, but it's like, even if I did believe that these were the real Justice League members, which I kind of still think I do, but it's like, still, why didn't you give like the players that satisfaction of like truly killing these characters in the most like satisfactory kind of way possible? You know what I mean?
Right.
Just kind of just giving that satisfaction. I didn't really get that, unfortunately, but the gameplay was still fun. You know, the story was okay, but other than that, like, just fighting the Justice League members was just so lackluster, and I was so disappointed.